it's Kelly. Welcome back to my channel where we talk all about gentle skincare, sometimes self-care, and today we're talking Kbeauty moisturizers for fall. Colder temperatures are finally rolling in and you may be thinking about switching up your skincare routine. I know I definitely am. I recently released my 5 serums for fall video. You guys love that so much. I knew I had to follow up with 5 picks for moisturizers for fall because that's really like the one skincare product that really does have to change with the seasons. So I have 5 picks, all Korean skincare picks for different skin types, from oily, combination, even dehydrated folks and dry skin folks. So if you guys are so ready to find out my 5 moisturizer picks for fall, give the video a big thumbs up and let's jump right in. So first up is the Cosrx Propolis Light Cream. This is my pick for oily skin folks and maybe even up to combination skin that leans more towards the oily side. Now Propolis is really one of my favorite ingredients for fall for so many reasons, but I think it's because it imparts this balance to the skin. It's not oily, it's not really rich and overly nourishing for the skin, but it just brings that little bit of something that just kind of comforts the skin, that just kind of balances it out, and just that little kiss of moisture that hugs everything in, but it doesn't feel really overwhelming, especially in the formula here with Cosrx. They have created their light Propolis line, and I think that this definitely falls into that. So we're getting that kiss of moisture from Propolis, but it's also an amazing ingredient for inflammation. It's also really great for acne prone skin as well because it has antibacterial effects. It helps to reduce redness on the skin. It promotes wound healing. It's a very calming ingredient, but it also can really bring a beautiful lit from within glow, like a luminosity to the complexion that I absolutely love. And those qualities of Propolis make it a fantastic ingredient for fall because oftentimes we're going into fall and we're experiencing some skin that might tend to get a little bit drier than it does in warmer weather. Temperatures are cooler, they're getting colder, and so your skin may feel slightly more dry than usual. Propolis is a great type of ingredient to add balance back into the skin, but maybe you suffer from seasonal allergies during this time. I absolutely do, and that shows up on my face. It can become a lot more sensitive, a little bit more stressed out, a little bit more red looking. Propolis addresses all of that. And sometimes when your skin is, fluctuating with the seasons and it feels a little bit out of whack, it's a bit more prone to breakouts and pimples. And Propolis, as I mentioned, a great ingredient for breakouts, a very gentle way to soothe the inflammation, the redness, the swelling, and it has that antibacterial effect and that healing effect as well. So you see why it's my favorite, right? But this texture, I think, really makes it a fantastic fall or even a winter season choice for those who are a little bit more oily, because it's this really light, fluffy texture, and it has just that kiss of moisture, just enough to hug the rest of your skincare in. Very, 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 very light occlusivity, but it's such a breathable cream. It is so silky and light and really airy on the skin. It's just that Propolis is bringing that balance that really helps to soothe skin. So this is, as I said, my pick for those who need a little bit more moisture but don't need a lot of thickness, that don't need a lot of richness, something that is just going to ease your skin into these colder, drier temperatures without overwhelming it. My next pick is the Goodal Vegan Rice Milk Moisturizing Cream. Now this is my pick for more traditionally combination skin, but also for folks who suffer with dehydration, and I think it could also be a good night cream pick for those with oily skin, especially if you are prone to dehydration at nighttime. So the star ingredient here is rice. It's right in the name, and rice is much like Propolis. It's one of those beautiful balancing, moisturizing ingredients that doesn't tip the line as too rich, too overwhelming, too nourishing for the skin. There's something about rice that just really fills your skin, but it doesn't overwhelm it, and it's not a greasy or a heavy type of ingredient. And in fact, it's actually a really great ingredient that conditions and softens the top of the skin. It has a natural brightening effect. It's another ingredient that can bring that natural luminosity out in your skin, but it's also a fantastic antioxidant. It has some well-aging abilities too. It's used in Asian beauty for so long. It's a very traditional ingredient and it has a ton of benefits. And it's been combined with some other ingredients like soy milk in here to kind of up the nourishment value. There is a kiss of rice bran oil in here to bring a little bit of nourishment, but the texture is surprisingly lighter than you might think. It has this silkiness to it, has this lightness to it, and as you spread it across your skin, you feel a little bit of hydration. You feel this nice balancing moisture. Your skin is going to feel so silky soft on the top. It makes your skin feel so good. But as it's absorbing and settling into your skin, you're going to feel a surprising amount of occlusivity. What's surprising to me about it is because the cream feels so light, it's very fluffy and airy, much like the Cosrx cream. But as it settles, that occlusivity, that seal it in, hug it in kind of quality is much more pronounced than it is in the Cosrx cream. And that's why this is my recommendation for dehydrated skin, because you really do need that final layer in your skincare that really helps to hold the hydration in place. Because transepidermal water loss is dehydration. It's water escaping through your skin. If you can create a temporary occlusive barrier on top of your skin, it helps to cut that down quite a bit. So this is a really great cream, and it's quite surprising for being so light. It doesn't have a lot of weight on the skin, but it really does help hug everything in a really interesting way that doesn't feel greasy, that doesn't leave the top of your skin shiny. It's a really interesting, surprising texture. And as I mentioned, dehydrated skin, you need that occlusive factor. But if you're one of those skin types that you're like, I need something to seal it in, but I just cannot stand the weight on my face, or I just don't want something that is so overly rich that it's overwhelming for my skin. Maybe it contributes to congestion on your skin. If you are producing a little bit more oil, like a combination skin type, or as I mentioned, an oily skin type, but you're really seeking for that ability to fight dehydration, you need occlusivity, but you don't need thickness. That is going to make this cream a really good choice, something that you may want to consider. The texture is very unique, but great for fighting dehydration. My next pick is the Torriden Solid In Ceramide Cream. Now this is my pick for those who need a little bit more richness on the skin. We're building up in nourishment and richness as my picks go on in the video. And so this is going to be my recommendation for those who do have combination skin, but maybe leans more towards the dry side, especially as the temperatures get cooler. You might find that your skin leans a little bit more dry. I think this could also be a good choice for those who do have dry skin, but it's not the most rich pick in the video, just so that you're aware. Now, ingredient wise, this is, as the name suggests, a cream that is focused on ceramides. We have 5 different types of ceramides in here. Cholesterol, we have fatty acid content, and then we've got some richness coming from rice bran oil and baobab seed oil. And you can really feel that in the texture of this. This is definitely something that has a butteriness to it. It has a silky richness to it. It has more nourishment to it. And we're really moving into a texture that is more medium feeling on the skin, but it has this silkiness to it. It's not a stiff cream. It's not a balmy cream. It still has this fluffiness while still being medium to it that I really enjoy. It actually tricked me when I first tried this because I was like, it's not going to be enough for my combination skin that leans on the dry side. It's, such a fine line for me of what is not enough and what is just the right amount of moisture for my skin. And I thought because of how light this felt on first, on first touch, I was like, it's not going to be enough for my skin. Oh, no, I was totally wrong about this one. Looks in that first feel are deceiving. It absorbs in the skin really beautifully, and as it sinks in, you feel the oil content. It's really well balanced. Here it's that nourishing, comforting feel, that silky feel, but you can tell there's an oil content to this, and it absorbs in and it feels really moisturizing and good. And then you get this nice occlusivity to it, and the occlusivity I think is really what seals the deal for me, because we get that richness, but then we get the occlusivity that really helps hold the richness in place and really helps hold the other hydrating layers of your skincare in place. And for me, the occlusivity is what makes a cream enough or not enough for my specific skin type. And that line is going to be the same for you depending on your skin type and what your skin craves, really. It's just where that line falls for each individual schedule is a little bit different. And so I was like, this isn't going to be quite enough. Oh, but actually it is. Actually, this is very nourishing. The occlusivity fights dehydration so well. And I think it's a really great pick specifically for the fall temperatures because I get a 4-season climate where I live, and winter can be very harsh, and that's when my skin is craving those really thick textures. But in fall, as my skin type is really transitioning into a much more drier skin type, I'm not wanting a lot of weight, but I'm needing that nourishment. I'm needing that comfort from moisture, but I'm not quite ready to go thick and heavy and balmy and ultimately occlusive. I still need some breathability in that final layer, and I think this texture just nails it. The qualities are just enough to protect your skin, but not so much that it feels like a really heavy or greasy layer on your skin. So I have to talk about the Cosrx Hydrium Moisture Power Enriched Cream. I do recommend it in a lot of different seasons. This is one of my favorite Korean skincare moisturizers. It has such a unique quality to it. This is my pick for combination skin that leans, again, more towards the dry side. I think dry skin may also enjoy this, but if you have dehydrated skin and dryness and combination kind of describes your skin type, pay attention to this one. This is a unique one because the interplay between humectants, those water hydrating ingredients, and emollients, those moisturizing, nourishing ingredients, the play here is so interesting. It is very unexpected. We do have ceramide and P in here, cholesterol, fatty acid content. There's quite a few different lipids at play here, which really help to nourish the moisture barrier and moisturize the skin. But then we have a high content of glycerin, panthenol, hyaluronic acid in here. We even have some propolis in here and some coconut oil. So it's like, how do all these ingredients interact together? Because like I was saying, lots of watery, hydrating, juicy ingredients, lots of very nourishing, rich emollient ingredients all coming together into this very interesting texture. As you look at it, you may think, hey, this is going to be like a gel cream situation. It's going to be very light on the skin. And it appears that way as you work this into your skin, as it's absorbing a deep bursts of hydration. The panthenol, the glycerin, the hyaluronic acid dive deep into the skin. This is why I recommend it for dehydrated skin, because it has that replenishing factor to it, that deep replenishing factor. But it has this moisture element. As it's absorbing and settling in, you're going to feel the silkiness and the richness at the top of your skin. Your skin is going to feel very conditioned, and as it absorbs, you're going to feel occlusivity. You're going to feel it really start to seal everything in and hug everything in. What started off as like a light and watery, almost feeling cream, turns into a much more protective, occlusive type of, almost even like an ointment-y type of feel at the very top of your skin. It's not quite as much as like slugging, but it really seals everything in a medium weight feel. It's not greasy. All of the moisturization, don't be afraid of that coconut oil, just from the word alone. The way that it has been formulated is incredibly elegant. It actually does all the moisturization inside, so you're not getting that shiny or that greasy layer. Sometimes when creams are so rich in oil, they leave like a filminess at the top of your skin that you can almost wipe off, with your finger. Not this one. It is actually quite neutral of a finish at the top, not shiny at all. So this is something, like I said, I recommend it in actually a lot of seasons. I think it has a lot of usability for that very specific combination, leaning dry, maybe classically dry skin type, but you're really suffering with some dehydration and you need a cream that is really gonna hold it all in and protect your skin. Definitely do not discount this one. Next, I want to talk about the Aestura Atobarrier 365 cream, which is going to be my choice for combination and dry skin folks. And I think that this is a really great moisturizer to consider if your moisture barrier feels really tested during the seasonal change, which is actually a very common thing. As the weather shifts, your moisture barrier may become a bit more weak, and it needs to be fortified with ceramides, cholesterol, cholesterol and fatty acids. And that's exactly what this formula is about. It's about bringing the ceramides into the skin. They're using some lab-made ceramides here. We've got the cholesterol, the fatty acid content, and it really is focused on strengthening your moisture barrier. And it has this really great creamy texture. There are little flakes in here. They are ceramide capsules. And the idea here is that it keeps the ceramides very fresh and effective for the skin and helps to deliver them a little bit deeper. It could be marketing. I always say this about this ceramide capsule or ceramide flakes, really. It could be marketing tactics for sure. It does make the cream stand out, you know, in your mind because it's a little bit different. But I have seen this being used in other moisturizers with ceramides, and I love them. I think they're really well performing, really barrier strengthening products. So there might be something to this encapsulation process, but it's not something that you feel in the texture. It doesn't have a grittiness. It's not going to scrape across your skin. As you work this in, those capsules just melt. They just melt and really deliver those ceramides deep into your skin where they need to go so that they can help to fortify and strengthen your skin barrier. It is a very traditional cream texture, and we haven't quite hit that just yet in this video. This is definitely the thickest cream in the bunch. It has a silkiness to it, but this is again one of those special creams that's not so overly nourishing that it's going to leave that film on top of your skin where you can just wipe it right on off. All that nice oil and nourishment right off on your fingertips. It really delivers that deep into the skin and leaves a nice neutral finish on the top, but definitely a medium type of feel and a really good occlusivity to this as well. That really helps to fight the transepidermal water loss. I think if your skin is really ailing, if you're having a really hard time adapting to the seasonal change, maybe your skin is really inflamed, you can tell your moisture barrier is really weak, you're suffering with a lot of dehydration, you need a very protective cream and you just don't want to mess around. You know what I'm saying? You just want to get this fixed. I would really suggest looking into this cream because I find it to be very, very healing, very strengthening. This is something that I've leaned on in very, very harsh and cold weather when my skin is ailing, and it has never failed me. It's a really fantastic cream, a great formula, but again, it's not so heavy and so rich that it's going to exclude a lot of skin, even if you're more on the combination side, but your skin is ailing. I don't think that this is going to feel really greasy. You know what I'm saying? It's not so buttery and so rich. So I think it's just really well balanced all around in the texture, in the ingredients, in their approach. They're just getting the job done. And sometimes as the seasons shift and your skin is just kind of going haywire, you need something that gets the job done. And I really think this is a cream that can do that. So I'm curious if you've changed your moisturizer for the season yet. Let me know in the comments below. If this video helped you out, maybe you're looking for a new moisturizer and this answered some of your questions, I would love it if you would hit subscribe if you haven't already, especially if you love Kbeauty and gentle skincare, because that's what I talk about on this channel. I do release a lot of new videos throughout the week, and I also do shorts as well, so consider turning on notifications so you're never out of the loop. I hope you are healthy, happy, and safe, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.